The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning and welcome to our webinar today. My name is Jim Guinan and I will be presenting and hosting our webinar today. Our topic is the IAMS 1040 checklist. So we will be looking at the 1040 tax form and looking at some different sections, different parts of the tax return to find potential sales for various product lines today. So we'll spend some time at that, a little bit more on certain areas, of course, that can generate more topics for a selling situation. Before we do that, I do have a few items to go through with you, talk a little bit about what's new here at Insurance Agency Marketing, and then we'll get into that subject matter soon. I do want to remind you that we are recording the webinar today, so if you do have to leave early or you'd like to review it later, we will make it available. There will be an email that will be sent out this afternoon. Of course, you can find that on our YouTube section under Insurance Agency Marketing. Again, I'm Jim Guinan. I'm an annuity sales director. I've been working here at IAMS for almost 5 years now and working with fixed products in this capacity for almost 19 years. So I do appreciate your time today. I know it's a busy time of year, a lot going on, and but maybe some of you are like we are. We're kind of snowed in again today. We got more snow last night. We're getting it this morning here in Omaha, and I have to say I can't wait for spring. So thanks for your time. I appreciate it. So let's get started. First, I want to talk to you about some business builders that we refer to them as here at our brokerage house. Couple ways that we try to help you along in what you do when you're writing business with us. So the first is our RPM, Referred Producer Program. And this is our way, of course, helping us grow and you grow financially. So when you refer an agent to us, and they contract with our group, we will send you a check for $50. And then from there, as they write business, we'll give you a piece of that override from us to on back to you. And that is unlimited. So you can continue to refer individuals you know that are in our industry. Maybe they're life producers or annuity producers, and we want to make sure that you get credit for sending those people our way because, as you may guess, we do spend a lot of money referring or recruiting agents every year. The other program that continues to work well for our producers is our marketing reimbursement. Simply said, you write business, we throw money into an account for you, and when you have business expenses, you submit those receipts to us, and we reimburse you 50% of what's in that account for each receipt. So again, kind of a unique program. The more business you write, the more you have accessible to use for things. As we'll talk here soon, we're going to be talking a little bit about the creative department and what they do, branding and so forth. Those dollars can be used for things like that. The third business builder is our new producer bonus, and we've continued to see this work successfully for producers. Once you contract as a new producer or new agent with us, you basically have 180 days to write business at these levels. So if you, at the end of 180 days, you have successfully written $300,000 of annuity business, then some of these rewards are what you can look to get. Again, you can do a gift card, you could do cash, you could do marketing reimbursement, you could do a Social Security program and a 3,000 piece mailing, for example. So we want to reward you for coming to us, contracting with us, and writing business. So we do appreciate everything that you can do and bring to us as an organization. Our back office support here at Insurance Agency Marketing, I think, is very good. They're the same people that help you, of course, do also help me. But we do work in case design. Both our life and annuity marketers are glad to assist you in helping find not just products, but to help develop a situation for and give you some options for cases that are coming your way. We do also have our forms available for you. We do life and annuity quotes. We do those as marketers. We also have a quote team. And our paperless contracting is another way to save you time. That way you don't have to fill out paperwork every new carrier you want to get appointed with. So about 85 to 90% of the carriers we offer are on that contract. So if you want to add a carrier down the road, you don't have to fill it out every time they are available. Some you do have to appoint either through their website or on their own paperwork. I mentioned creative department just a moment ago. Jacob and his team do work a lot with agents right now on areas of web design or web improvement, website improvement, branding, and email marketing, to name a few things. So as you can see on the screen, a lot of the services they provide. If you're trying to, again, we're still new into 2019. If you have not done so and your goal is to maybe more effectively brand yourself and your business, give those people a call in our creative department and ask them about what they can do to help you find out. They'll find out more about what you are doing and give you some ideas, and also what it may cost to do so. All right, and I'll talk a little bit about our website. If you've not been there, it is www.IAMSinc.com. That's IAMSinc.com. And the website, I think, is very useful, of course, for us. We use the website. I'm there every day, either looking up a product, maybe searching for a product hard to find based on age, or maybe a state that's a little more difficult, looking for a bonus product, things like that. We rely a lot on those tools. You have access to that too, but you give us again, going back to case design, we will rely on this tool to help us search for a product that's pretty reliable. Also, income rider quotes, income rider comparisons, we utilize that a lot. As you can see, there's other things that you can find our webinar schedule, our current annuity grid. We call it a grid, but it's our rate sheet book that we have, all of us at our desk, is also posted online. It has all of our carriers by top products, also has our multi-year rates, and it also lists you income riders on many of our products. So it's, again, a lot of information on the website. There's a term quote engine. There is also a sales resource library that has a lot of agent tools, calculators, fact finders, all sorts of information that you can tap into to help you in your presentations and your process. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about IAMS Wealth Management. We have seen quite an increase in business that's going in the direction of the Registered Investment Advisor, and our RIA is now several years old, has grown considerably. So if you are an agent, but you are looking at maybe growing your business a little bit, expanding it to an audience that you've not approached before, or maybe you've been in the securities business in the past, you were a Series 6 or 7, and you have those long-standing relationships. Those individuals have money. You're not, you may give them advice or give them some guidance, or again, you may want to go back into that area, but you don't want to necessarily be securities licensed as such. You want to be more of an advisor. You want to get more information on this, we'll be glad to help you with it. Charles and his team would be glad to do so. So I'm going to put a question out there regarding our wealth management. And as you can see, it is a way to help grow your business as an advisor, to be compensated for advising individuals on their retirement dollars, their money, You do have to have a Series 65, which is the investment advisor rep exam, and they can talk to you more about what is involved in getting the license, what are the costs of being an IAR, and what this can mean to you in the way of your business. So if you're looking to expand your business beyond just life insurance and annuities or Medicare, um, you've worked with it before, or maybe you haven't, but you've got people that ask you about this. They trust you. They want to know, do you work with mutual fund money? Do you work with assets for retirement in the market? And it may be something that you would want to consider. So if you've got an interest in getting a little more information about this, let us know. We'll be glad to get that back for you. I do appreciate your feedback and your responses on that, by the way. Okay, moving on. Our Life and Annuity Academy program continues to move forward this year. We have our first installment is actually next week. It will be in Dallas, Texas, and it's the 13th through the 15th. The next one scheduled is in early May. So if you have an interest in a 2-day training, this is more of advanced topics. We would be glad to accept a registration, so to speak, or an application from you. After the webinar is over, we will be providing that to you with more information about the Academy. Of course, if you have any questions, you can let me know or any of the other marketers here, but this is a program we've been working with for a number of years. And if you are an annuity or life producer and would like to grow that business, want to look into areas of how you can do so, maybe it's through a seminar program, or maybe it's learning new strategies or accessing new prospecting ways to get in front of qualified individuals, this could be a good program for you. So we are accepting registrations for the Academy. We will be throughout the year, probably through this fall. Again, the next one will be May, I believe it's May 8th through the 10th, I believe are the dates. And so if you're interested in that, let us know. We'll be glad to take that, answer any questions you have, and certainly when you send that in, we will follow up with you. As you can see, these are some of the topics. The program does change a little bit. We update it, and we update it to where it's at in location and who might be working with us in conjunction. This one in March is in conjunction with Athene. But again, if you have interest in this, let us know. We'd be glad to talk with you about it. And usually around 35 individuals are what we're looking for a count on our producers for this. So it is an all expense paid training for those that are accepted. So we'll pay your way there and while you're staying there. So you really don't have to worry about anything, just packing your bag. So I will send a questionnaire out on that now. If you'd like more information on our Life and Annuity Academy, please let us know. Again, the one for next week has already been established and filled up. So the registrations that I'm referring to would be for the one in May, or if that doesn't work, those dates don't work, we will have another one in the summer and most likely in the fall. We're trying to target this year 4 academies, but for sure, I would say 3 academies. So again, let us know if that's something that you would like to pursue further. All right, I'm going to close that poll out here soon. Again, throughout the webinar today, whether it's on any of the information here initially or on the topic that we're going to cover, if you have any questions, please type those in. I may not necessarily be able to get to them while I'm on the phone with you today, but I will respond to you. And so if you have any questions at all for myself or for our life and annuity team as a whole, please let us know what those are and we'll be glad to help you with it. All right, I'm going to close that poll out. Moving on here. Just wrapping up a little bit here, the next marketing summit will be this summer. As you can see, the qualification period is running close now. It'll be June 30th will be the end of that. We've already got a number of individuals that have qualified for this. It is a both social and educational event and should be a very good group of agents that will be attending this. Again, August 25th through the 29th in Naples, Florida, our next IAMS Marketing Summit. So we look forward to seeing you there. We'll be then starting our next qualification period will start after June. So we still have a big part of the year to get a head start on our next summit. So we look forward to seeing you there. If you have questions about that, let me know. And I want to thank you for your time so far this morning. I do appreciate it. And I want to now move on to our presentation today, which is on the IAMS 1040 checklist. Now, this was designed, this topic, to use when you're meeting with clients. And what we have done is compiled several key areas of the 1040, and then what we'd look for are some questions that might come from each part of that. Again, some are a little bit more straight on. You can see that will allow you to have a conversation about a cross-selling opportunity, but we will go through some of those now. And again, a good time for this, I'll step back just a moment. I think a good time to utilize the tax return could be any time that you're sitting down with a prospect or an existing client. I guess you can develop your own methodology here, but I think any time that you're gathering a fact find or updating a financial inventory for an existing client might be a good time to ask them for their 1040. On a service review, whether that's an annual or at any point in time, this is a point where you could discuss that. And anytime you have written some business, again, people trust you in a point where they've made a sale. So it's a good point. It's a good point in the presentation to maybe where they have shown some trust to you to talk about that. They may not be comfortable with it. That's fine. Again, it's how you approach it and how you would ask about it. So let's talk about this here. We're talking first of all on the W-2 form. We'll step on that here a little bit. Differences in line 1 and line 3 on the W-2 will indicate a participation in a 401k plan, maybe a 403b plan. And again, those can generate some questions about additional life insurance, or I think more importantly, some of those last questions. Are you satisfied with the amount you're contributing to your retirement plan? Did you know tax-deferred annuities can be integrated into your retirement plan? So when you see that someone is participating in those retirement plans, some questions to ask maybe would be, are you contributing the maximum amount that you would like to at this point? Are you thinking about some alternatives for, maybe it's not pre-tax, maybe it's not tax advantage in that way, but maybe some complementary retirement vehicles, including a fixed product with the guarantees that go with that. Okay, on the address line, again, there's not a lot here. If there is a change in address, some cross-selling opportunities could be property casualty. If you're a property casualty agent, do you have enough property casualty insurance on your new home? Or we can always generate a life insurance question here, perhaps. Do you have enough life insurance to pay off any real estate debt should something happen to you? And so again, address change, not a big cross-selling opportunity, but again, there's questions that you can come up with here by the way, you've changed address. Have you reviewed your property casualty insurance? Are you properly insured now that you're in a bigger home, perhaps a bigger mortgage? Or if they end up renting, maybe they've gone to renting in a smaller situation, making sure that they do have, and they probably already do, unless you're their property casualty agents, they already have changed that coverage. Filing status. Okay, so has your filing status changed over the last year or several years? Could be recently married, divorced, or widowed. Again, this would be an opportunity to discuss not only a selling opportunity, but making sure that the beneficiary designations are updated on all accounts. And of course, have you thought about purchasing additional life insurance, disability insurance, or long-term care for you or your spouse if being married? And again, those are all important questions to ask. Just so you all know, insurance agency marketing doesn't just work with annuities and life, and I know we promote that those are our big lines here at our IMO, but we also have disability carriers, MedSup, and now Medicare Advantage. We do have several long-term care companies. We do have also single premium, in addition to life, specifically, we have single premium whole life or index life carriers. We have at least 9 now. So again, we do work with a lot of lines. You tend to hear us talk a lot about life insurance and annuity, but we have carriers for almost any product line that doesn't require a securities license outside of property casualty. Okay, then moving on, another section of the 1040 would be dependents. What you can look for here is a spouse, children, or someone with special needs. Some questions that could come from this would be, should something happen to you or your spouse, do you have enough life insurance to cover your dependents' needs? I think that's an ongoing, ever-ending question that needs to be asked to our clients is, when's the last time that you reviewed that, or when's the last time we reviewed that, and do you feel that you're properly covered? They might say, yeah, I do. So, okay, well, let's look at it a little closer and see what your needs are, your debts, things like that, and what happens if you weren't here anymore. So again, a great opportunity when we're talking about dependents to talk about insurance, or another one, disability. What happens if your income stops? Do you have something in place to help you with insuring your income? Wages and salary, line 7. Some things to look for here would be increased income going forward. And you can, again, this says compare the last 3 returns, but we may not necessarily have 3 returns in front of us at the time, but a question could be, has that income, did your income increase over the last year or so? So some questions that could lead you to further business. Have you considered tax deferral opportunities that are provided by annuity products and cash value life insurance? Again, the disability question comes up. So opportunities, taxable interest and tax exempt interest, line 8A and 8B. So these are opportunities to discuss interest. We know the interest rate environment's pretty low. I mean, it has improved, but it's still relatively low compared to in the past. So if there's a large number on those lines, you know that the asset generating it could be rather big. So, are there ways to eliminate or reduce taxable interest? Yes, a tax deferred annuity is one of the best ways to do that, and in a safe way. So again, tax exempt bonds, we don't work with those. You may work with those, but we don't work with those, so I wouldn't necessarily be promoting that. But some areas where something, an asset that could be used both for retirement that's safe and does not generate taxable income would be a tax-deferred annuity, whether it's index or traditional fixed, perhaps cash value life insurance like a UL plan. Alimony received. Okay, determine if the amount of alimony received is a considerable source of income or not. If it is, if life insurance wasn't specified in the settlement, would you consider purchasing life insurance on your ex-spouse should they die prematurely? Again, I guess that would depend on whether there's minor children, perhaps, in the picture yet. So again, alimony received, it's income coming in. What do we need to do with income? We need to protect it. We need to protect it in a number of ways. Moving on to business income or loss, this is line 12 and Schedule C. So we want to identify what type of business entity this is coming from. And there is, as you can see, a lot of good questions that you can offer to your individual here. What steps have you taken to provide for your retirement? Have you considered tax deferral opportunities by annuity products or cash value life insurance? I think an opportunity here for an agent would be to talk about if it is a small business, most likely it is, but if it's a small business, we do have a carrier, a top carrier that offers a small business pension program. And if you are willing to delve into that a little bit further with your prospect, maybe not right here, right now, but maybe at a later time, a question to ask might be, does your business currently have a retirement plan in place? They may be a sole proprietor, but it may be a small business they have of 2, 3, 4, 10 employees. And an opportunity here, I think an untapped opportunity is to ask, what have you done for your small business so far for retirement? We know healthcare costs have gotten very expensive. We know a lot of small businesses are struggling. They don't necessarily have the money always to put into retirement, but many of them do. So this is an opportunity to gather an information, maybe through a census form, get it over to this carrier's pension department. They'll come back with a proposal, and you're looking at a whole nother piece of business, an opportunity to help that individual. And maybe you have now the possibility to talk to 7 to 10 individuals, perhaps, about their retirement as individuals. So again, don't overlook that whole market. Moving on, we've got capital gains and losses, line 13. This is where we would, this might show if the client's investing. It could be aggressively, it might not. It might just not have performed well. Gains or losses. And this would be an opportunity to talk about fixed annuities. Again, they are tax deferred. They don't go backwards in value. The principal is protected, and depending on the type of product and the length, you're still looking at very competitive returns over the long period of time without the roller coaster effect of money in the market. Again, do we recommend all the money then instantly get moved over? No, I'm not recommending that. But maybe a portion of the money could be repositioned into a safer option with still a competitive growth opportunity. Okay, IRA and pension distributions. This is lines 15 and 16. And what we're looking for here is a distribution. It could be an RMD. Let's see, if the required RMD is made because of age, determine the approximate value. Again, if the individual's 70, the RMD percentage is around 3.6. So you can figure out about how much they have in qualified accounts, for example, at that age. So we have those on our tax tables. You probably have access to that too. It gives you the factor. And some even show you the actual percentage of what has to come out at certain ages. And, knowing that, you may have key numbers in your head, but again, at age 70, the first RMD is about 3.6% of their qualified accounts that are subject to it. So again, what are you doing? Mr. Client, what are you doing with your pension distribution, your IRA distributions? Are you just putting that into a bank account? Are you reinvesting it? Have you considered maybe applying those dollars to a safer vehicle that's tax deferred? Or perhaps to buy a single premium life product where you can pass that on tax free. Because if you're not using your RMD for anything specifically and you don't foresee that happening, it's not like you have to commit it for the rest of your life, but you could purchase with some of those dollars a single premium whole life or index life policy and pass that on tax free to your family or to who's important for you. So again, there's a lot of things that individuals can do with money they receive, as you know, but if it's not earmarked for anything specifically and they don't want it to just sit around and earn nothing in a bank account, those are opportunities to talk to them about what we offer in financial instruments. Okay, moving on, rental, real estate, royalties, partnerships, and so on, line 17 and Schedule E. Cash flow that can be used to buy an annuity or additional life insurance. Again, income. What are you doing with the income? What's it designated for? What do you usually do with that? Does it turn around and use? Do you put it back into your business? Is it just building up in a retirement account but not really doing what you want it to? Again, you all know what questions to ask when you see individuals that are receiving money or have money in their accounts. It's just asking a lot of questions and finding out what they want it to do and where it needs to go. So some opportunities there. Did you know life insurance can be used to fund a buy-sell agreement that immediately pays your survivor should you die unexpectedly? Do you have sufficient property casualty insurance on your rental property? I think that's a very important question. Okay, we'll move on from moving expenses. All right, IRA deduction. So line 32, what are we looking for here? Well, I guess to determine if they're taking advantage of a tax deductible contribution to an IRA, and if there is no deduction listed on that, maybe an opportunity to ask why. So again, lots of questions flow when we see someone with an IRA. Have you reviewed and updated beneficiary designations? But more importantly, I think too, are you happy with your IRA investment allocations? Would you like to see if you're eligible for a Roth IRA conversion? Again, lots of opportunities. If you were to go through a return and asked every question that I just did or that you've seen, you'd bombard your client. They'd probably never want to talk to you again. But you can see the key areas that do generate some very good qualified conversations about opportunities for you. Okay, so just about done here. Itemized deductions. This is line 40 and Schedule A. And what are we looking for here? Well, one of them is yearly contributions to your favorite charity. And then that could be a opportunity for life insurance. Federal tax income withheld and refund. So what are we looking for? Well, we're trying to note here the size of the refund, and maybe they need to adjust their tax withholding to maybe free up more cash. Excuse me. What, Mr. Prospect, what do we do? What do you typically do with your refund? Is that earmarked for something in particular? Do you use it to pay off a certain bill? Do you usually turn around and reinvest it in mutual funds? I mean, what are we doing? What do you typically do with that? Maybe you go on a vacation. Again, we don't want to recommend something that is not available for investment or for purchase of a financial product. So Again, have you considered using a portion of your return to purchase tax-deferred annuities for retirement? One of my favorite questions. Okay, so additional questions to ask here after you review that. So, do you have any IRAs that you're not receiving distributions from? That's a very good question, and that would be one that you'd most likely find out on a fact finder with your clients. Do you have any old 401k plans that haven't been rolled into your IRA? So that leads to direct rollovers. Sometimes individuals I won't say forget, but not really remember to do something with those plans. And they'll sit there and, maybe they performed well, but that is an opportunity for an IRA rollover to now have more control over what it's in, what benefits and features it may have, and without the fees of a 401k and without the market fluctuations of the value. Do you have any existing 401ks that you're still contributing to? Okay, so this is an important question, and I have a webinar on this, on a lot of this that talks about in-service withdrawals. Another selling opportunity is if you're at your current work now, are you contributing to a 401k plan? But also more importantly, do you know if you're eligible for an in-service non-hardship withdrawal? Again, there may be some retirement dollars that can be redirected to a IRA even though they're still working at that employer. And then do you have any annuities, cash value life insurance, or long-term care policies? Throughout this presentation, there would have been plenty of opportunities to ask that question, as you can see, but current life insurance in place. If we're asking about additional purchase of life insurance, hopefully we would have also talked about existing to find out what the need is. So again, some very good questions. Even if you take one or two parts of this today and start utilizing the questions, I think that a client that will provide this information to you trusts you quite a bit and would also then have a high likelihood of them trusting your recommendation. So again, I hope that helps a little bit. If you have any questions further, anything that comes up in your presentations or just outside of what was discussed today, if you are working on any qualified rollover, I mean, we're in the time of year now where we're discussing IRA contributions is a big discussion both for 2018 and 2019. And it's a time of year where individuals are wanting to put money away again, looking at IRAs, and that also leads to discussions about your current IRAs. How are they performing? Where were you thinking about contributing that into the same vehicle that you did last year, or were you considering something different? And this will lead you to IRA rollover. So let us know what your qualified questions are. We'd be glad to help you, our team here at Insurance Agency Marketing. But I do want to thank you for your time today, and I wish you the best in March. March and April are our best CD renewal months of the year, and many of the certificates in the bank are qualified IRAs. So again, ask the questions, whether on your reviews, you have a tax return in front of you, or you're updating the fact find, you will uncover underperforming IRAs if you do ask those questions. So I do appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day.